If you wanna be somebody, if you wanna go somewhere, you better wake up and pay attention.
Come on, make me believe what you're saying.
Excuse me?
Picture it.
Hi, I'm James from Toronto, and I want to encourage everyone watching this video today to get involved in an LGBT community. I came out relatively late in life because when and where I grew up, gay was only ever narrowly represented. What I saw on TV and in movies and the way it was talked about by my family and my friends, I never really saw myself, so I had a hard time seeing myself as gay.
I was born in the 1970s, raised Catholic in the north of England, and growing up there was no one that I could identify with as a gay role model, so I didn't come out until 1996 after leaving home and going to university.
Just wanted to sort of explain my experiences in becoming an LGBTQ ally. As a child, I'm sure as many of us experienced, I heard a derogatory word used on the playground towards another child. I was, I believe, in the 5th grade, and it was sort of the first time I had ever heard this word used in such a derogatory manner. And I just remember being very upset and very confused and offended.
Being an immigrant to Canada, coming from a Muslim background, as well as having to deal with a family that doesn't necessarily support being gay is definitely challenging.
20 years ago when I went to high school, there was no such thing. There was pretty much straight. I went to a Catholic school, a co-ed Catholic school, and it just what it was. You know, gay was used in a derogatory term, and it was not something that was wildly conversed about or, you know, really shared or spoken about.
For me, because I'm going to touch on this later, so I'll start with it, the hardest thing in the world was coming out of the closet. I was actually, a younger version of me was married to a woman, my best friend. I'm now luckily married to my husband, a man, a different kind of best friend.
I identify as gender non-binary, and my preferred pronouns are they and them. It wasn't easy, my journey to discovering myself. In fact, it's a long story, too long for this video, so maybe next time.
My name is Brian Sachdeva, and I identify as a gay man. I came out at the age of 18 in college, and you know, being a person of color who is the child of immigrant parents who grew up in a mixed race family, growing up, you know, in the Anglophone part of Quebec, being different has just always been part of my DNA. I've always been different. There was never a group that I fit in with or identified with. So, you know, when I figured out that I was gay, it became yet another way that I was different from everybody else.
I grew up playing sports, and sports were my life in high school. I played so many different sports, but I also had other interests. But I think from playing sports and, you know, figuring out that I was gay, I pushed a lot of those feelings down because, you know, gay was always used as an insult. Gay was a bad thing when I was growing up, and I also sort of figured there's no way I could play sports and football and play defensive line and also be gay. I didn't think that was, you know, I thought maybe I'll just form to what society wants from me and just sort of push it away.
Coming to Toronto and being involved in the LGBT sport community here meant being around people with common beliefs and common hobbies, common interests, common attitudes, and before I knew it, I was no longer trying to see myself as gay, but simply being myself as gay. And it's such a wonderful thing. It's something that I will forever be grateful to the LGBT sport community for helping me experience, and it's an experience that I wish upon everyone watching this video today.
And luckily, a work colleague encouraged me to try softball, joining a gay and lesbian team. Despite not being particularly good at sports, because every single sports lesson in my secondary school was spent trying not to get bullied. 20 years later, I'm still part of this softball community, and it's amazing how playing this sport allows you to form bonds quickly. And I met my husband through playing softball in Australia.
To me, sports have always meant more than an activity. They're where I found my family. It helped me gain more confidence in myself.
My name's Amy, and I am an Alliance member of the LGBTQ community. I have had the opportunity to play on a variety of sports teams within the community, and it has been one of the most rewarding experiences because everyone is very friendly, they're very open, they're very accepting. It doesn't matter your skill level, your background. As long as you're there to have fun, you're welcome.
The most important thing to me in my personal life tends to be playing sports. I play a lot of sports. I organize different sports leagues. To the naked eye, I guess people just assume that I do it because I'm a sports junkie and just always want to play and like being better than other people. But truth be told, I do it because I like to give back to my community, and I like to provide a safe space for other people that's maybe having a tough time coming out of the closet.
My name is Sheena, and I'm an LGBTQ Alliance supporter. Growing up, everyone has their set of characteristics that make them unique. For me, my uniqueness comes from the fact that I am from an immigrant family and that I am a visible minority. In fact, growing up in grade school, I was one of the only visible minorities in my classes. But I never let that stop me from trying new things or meeting people who are different from me. In fact, I would use my uniqueness as an opportunity to teach people that being different is a strength and not a weakness. I would be open about my culture and my background and where I came from. Not everyone has to be the same to feel like they fit in.
Catherine here, a very proud supporter of the LGBTQ community. In high school, some of us have these moments where we feel weird, at odds, can't relate to anybody, and even sometimes scared. And because we feel so different, I guess. In my line of work, I'm a TV media producer, and I've had a chance to travel a lot and meet amazing people and realize, basically, it's those differences. It's those odd, weird quirks in somebody that makes them so special, so interesting, so relatable. And so even if sometimes it feels really, really scary to not be able to connect with somebody else, you will. Yeah, because as you get older and you meet people who are more open and more interesting, you realize it's because they're so different that they're so rich. And so you really need to cherish those differences in you.
In my coming years, in my teen years, I had a lot of friends that identified as LGBTQ. Me being straight, I couldn't always necessarily understand their experiences or sympathize with their experiences, but what I could do is be a listener, be open-minded, willing to talk, willing to hear their stories.
A program manager at an international private high school in downtown Toronto, and I'm a former history teacher. I've traveled around the world. I've taught in different places in the world.
I don't see other people of color that are gay on the board of directors or in senior management. So I literally can't see myself in senior management. So I have to sort of break through those mental barriers and think, you know what, no, I can be and I want to be. It's something I should think about.
My name is Kevin. I'm gay and I work in the tech sector. Specifically, I've worked in startups for the past 7 years now, and I've loved every single moment of it. One of the biggest draws for me to stay in this industry for as long as I have is the fact that no one really cares about your orientation. What they do care about is what you bring to the table. And for me, that was my drive and my ambition to succeed.
The people that I met at the workplace or just through friends, I've learned a lot of things from them. I've learned the experiences that they've been through, and I try to apply some of the things that they've done in my life.
I think if there would have been a community or somebody that there was a gay straight alliance or bi or queer, whatever it was, I think that would be something that you should join and ask questions about and really support. I think one of the great things is that you get to be you get to be unique, you get to share your experiences with like-minded people, and you get to be open and free and celebrate yourself and celebrate life.
The world outside your bubble is scary, 100%. But taking a chance to venture out into it, and it is how we learned to be brave and gain strength to push through barriers, becoming stronger and gaining confidence in ourselves.
It's not an easy journey. It's difficult. However, the rewards are great once you're able to fully love yourself and accept who you are and try to share that with others as well. So remember, accept one another and love who you are.
Hi, I'm Alton. I live in London with my wife and 2 young kids, and I watched Love, Simon the other day, and it reminded me of what it was like to come out, and it was challenging and hard and difficult, but now I have such a great life and I don't really think about that time very much.
Hi, I'm Kristen Johnston. I'm Catholic and I grew up in Cambridge, Ontario, and I now live in Burlington with my husband and my 2 young sons. When I was asked to make a video about being an LGBT ally or supporter, I actually didn't know what I would say. I guess for me, I don't really think of it as being an ally. I just kind of think of it as being normal. I remember when my best friend told me he was gay, and he was happy. And so I was happy for him. So I guess for me, the way I demonstrate how I am an ally or a supporter is that I don't even think about it. It's just about loving my friends for who they are.
Now that you look back, don't you just think, just be who you are? Who cares what people think? Just be authentic to you. If you want to play that sport, play that sport. If you love playing instruments, go join band. That's what will consume your time. Just be you.
Yeah, I wish, back in high school, I wish I would have known, the most important thing is just being kind to one another. No matter what, it's no matter who they are, just always be kind to one another.
Yeah, you never know what people are going through. You never know what's going on in their head, or even who they know. It's super important to have really good friends in this time too. What back then, having good friends, having networks, and having a good relationship with your family is so important.
Yeah.
Thanks, girls. You're absolutely right. You never know whose family. My cousin's here, for example. So when you look back on high school and you think to yourself, wow, sometimes I put way too much pressure on myself, or I put way too much pressure on other people. Be true to yourself. Be authentic. And at the end of the day, when you're comfortable with yourself, you truly can be comfortable with other people. And one thing I want to let everybody know, it's important for me, is to always stand up for what's right, even if you're standing alone. Because sometimes you're the voice that's going to affect change. Thanks, everybody.
Can I love yourself? How the hell you gonna love somebody else? Can I